everyone, Procrastinating Turtle here. As many of you know and have probably already seen, a new Pokemon trailer for the upcoming games of Scarlet and Violet was just released. I thought I would make a quick video to share my thoughts on the new Pokemon that have been introduced to us so far, so I will not be discussing any potential links in this video. These are just my first impressions of the new Pokemon. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of them. First off, the starter Pokemon, Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxly. As of writing this, only the first stage of these Pokemon have been released. Throughout the generations, for the most part, my favorite starter Pokemon to pick tends to be the water type. However, with this generation, without seeing the final evolution, I am leaning towards grass or fire. Quaxly is cute, don't get me wrong, but when I look at it, all I see is the Tom and Jerry duckling mixed with Dewey Duck. Fuecoco is okay. I feel like I want to see its final evolution more than the other two. It reminds me somewhat of Totodile from Generation 2, probably my favorite generation. I could never pick between Totodile and Cyndaquil. I love them both, so Fuecoco is pulling on my nostalgia strings, hoping it would be a mixture of my two favorite starter Pokemon. Lastly, Sprigatito. While grass starters haven't really been my favorite throughout the generations at first look, this is probably the starter I would pick. Maybe because it's just similar in looks to Pokemon like Eevee, Vulpix, and Growlithe, and since Generation 1 it was my introductory generation, I am partial to Sprigatito. That being said, I reserve the right to change my mind once the final evolutions are unveiled. LeChunk, it would be interesting to see its shiny colors. Beyond that, this Pokemon is kinda for me. I think it would be interesting if they did something for its evolution, such as add a flying type in some sort of way, hinting at the saying, when pigs fly. We have had a normal type evolve into a normal combo type before with Bidoof. Bidoof was a mono normal type, and when it evolved into Bibarel, it became a combo normal water type. Perhaps we could see that with LeChunk, with the next stage being normal flying, which is a common combination with a lot of the bird Pokemon lines, or even just evolve into a mono flying type. We have had this happen before with the Eevee line, where Eevee is normal and whatever it evolves into is a singular typing. Smoliv, for whatever reason, makes me think of Trevenant. Perhaps it's a face, or perhaps October being around the corner and Halloween is my favorite time of year. I doubt it, and there is no reason for it to be, but I think it would be interesting if Smoliv evolved into a grass ghost type. Unless something interesting happens with its evolution, Smoliv is probably going to be the token grass type to use against a ground, rock, or water specialist NPC, or against the rock titan Cloth, unless one picks Sprigatito as their starter. Palmy at first glance seems to just be the given Pikachu clone of this generation. Initially, I thought with the popularity of Mimikyu, I was a little surprised they didn't go the same route and not make this Pokemon not electric type. However, when I was looking at the type combinations that have been used, I saw that the Pokemon before Mimikyu in the Pokédex was probably the actual Pikachu clone of the generation, Togedemaru, which is electric steel type. It seems like a step back for Palmy to be mono-electric type, as the last 4 generations the clones have had dual type with flying, fairy, steel, and dart. However, there was a rumor that it evolves, but no other Pikachu clone has evolved before. With its coloration, if it evolves, I hope it doesn't gain the fairy typing, or it will be too similar to Dendene. According to its Bulbapedia page, Palmy may be based on the Alpine Marmot, so if the rumor of it evolving is true, perhaps it will evolve into a dual type with ice, rock, or ground, all 3 of which have been done before with Rotom, Alolan Geodude, and Stunfisk. Paldean Wooper. I am kind of torn on this Pokemon. Something about it reminds me of Spyro, one of my favorite games growing up. I don't like it more or less than the original variant as far as looks go, and I am not knowledgeable enough to know if the poison ground combination is an advantage over water ground. From my research, it appears that the type change is better for defensive playing, having increased defenses against a few more types as it loses its defense against rock, but gains defense against fighting, bug, grass, and fairy. Offensively, it seems pretty even. It seems like it has less overlap of the types it is effective against, gaining effectiveness against grass and fairy, but it loses its effectiveness against poison, electric, and steel. However, I am not an expert on that or know enough to say for sure it is better or worse. Fido, as much as I would like to like this Pokemon, I can't seem to. It's cute and everything, but so far we haven't been introduced to any new Pokemon that seems that Fido would be useful against. It just seems like the Pokemon that would be a companion in the game to look pretty. Much like how Furfrou was in Generation 5 and Alcremie was in Generation 8. I am sure there are strategic uses for these three Pokemon, but all I can think of for Furfrou and Alchemy is how people would groom Furfrou to look a certain way, or people trying to get every Alcremie flavor. Graphite, just no. I tend to like poison types, but there is something about this Pokemon that I just do not like. I will probably catch one just for the Pokédex entry and that's it. I doubt I will use it as there is at least one other poison type available in the game. Cloth, so far I'm not really impressed with this Pokemon. I don't have any feelings one way or the other. However, I am amused that it is a rock type crab Pokemon and there is a species of crab called the rock crab in real life. Cetitan is similar to Cloth in that I don't have any feelings for it one way or the other. I do like how it is an ice type, as I feel that there are not a lot of that type and I am glad to see more of them. Armour Rouge and Ceruledge. I've heard that these Pokemon will be version exclusive, with Armour Rouge being in Scarlet and Ceruledge being in Violet. This kind of makes sense in that Rouge means red in French and Scarlet is a shade of red. Ceruledge is somewhat different in that cerulean is blue while violet is most commonly referred to as a shade of purple. But on the color spectrum, those two colors are right next to each other. However, I would have thought it would be swapped as they did with Reshiram and Zekrom in Pokemon Black and White. Without knowing their abilities between the two, I prefer Ceruledge, both aesthetically and because one of its types is Ghost. Not for any type advantage or disadvantage, I just like a lot of the Ghost type Pokemon. Cyclizar is kind of like LeChunk and Swallow. I don't have a strong feeling for it one way or the other. I will more than likely have one on my team at some point, depending on how abundant they are in the game. Also, I am curious to see what they will do as far as if it will evolve or not. As for the box legendaries, Koraidon and Miraidon, I am very much torn about these Pokemon. I like Koraidon more in the way it looks when it's standing still, but its riding animation kinda gets me. I do not care for the wheel-like sections of its body not being used like they are with Miraidon, or rather, I don't like how they look like they would just be in Koraidon's way when running or swimming. What do you think? Does the box art legendaries or the choice between Armour Rouge and Ceruledge make you want one game over the other? Also, which new Pokemon has been your favorite so far? Are there any Pokemon you would like to see return to Scarlet and Violet? Now that we have seen Paldean and Wooper, is there a particular Pokemon you would like to see come back but slightly different?